just a few minutes ago. We're going to make chicken fricassee with 2 vinegars, but first we have to make a tomato sauce. So they want us to take, we're going to make a bouquet garni. And so we need fresh parsley, celery leaves, not the celery leaves, and also some bay leaves. And we're going to tie them up into a bundle and get them ready to go. I have this already. I'm just getting some bay leaves out to go with it. Now that should be enough. I probably have more than I need, but that's okay. I always sit there and say it's okay. I don't know why. I'm just going to cut these down a bit so I can get them to fit into what I'm going to tie them up into. And you're going to need some twine as well. I'll pull you down while I get stuff together so you can see. So this is parsley, celery leaves, and some bay leaves. We'll get to the chicken after. You always need cooking twine if you're going to cook. Hi, Richie, again. We did it not long ago. Oh, we're doing it again. Good morning, everyone. I had the little packets that I didn't have to tie them up like this, but for the life of me, I cannot remember. Have I used them all, or did I just misplace them? Which happens a lot. Now, if you don't tie this right, everything's going to come out of this, and that's not what you want. So everything's trying to poke out. That's okay. Let's get this stuff together. Onions, you only want one. All right, we need a small onion. Let's see, well, I'm going to cut it this way anyway. My older son and I have decided we are going to see Citizen Vigilante. I really want to see that movie because, you know, I hate to say this, this is how a lot of people are feeling. The government is not listening. And sometimes you take things into your own hands. You want this chopped? No, they just want us to slice this. So Saturday, after I run around and do everything I have to do, he gets done doing what he has to do. We are going to sit down. I'm going to buy it. I told him I'm buying the film. And on YouTube, and we're going to watch it. Sometimes when a country's going crazy, you need to get your bearings, things like this happen. What else do you want in this? Garlic. How much garlic do you want? They say 2 plump ones, so they don't want skinny ones. They want big ones. Hold on 1 minute. I gotta do something. Good morning, everybody. Hi, Random. Yeah, I'll see you then. No, I haven't had any coffee. I had a glass of water and that's it. And I got up and got the dishes done. Do you want this minced or how? Peeled and minced, okay. No, I have not eaten, but my sons have been gorging on the scones. They said they're really good. I said next time I make them, I'm going to put coconut flakes in it too with the cranberries. Maybe with blueberries, yeah. Why not? I go there. Maybe cherries, except I'd have to chop the cherries up some because they don't get as small as the currants. Okay, put your sliced onions and garlic together. Salt. Well, we're not going to do a food mill. I'm going to throw it in the blender because I don't have a food mill. So I can't do that. So I'm going to have to do this a little different. You want it in a big pan, large skillet. Okay. All right, we need 4 tablespoons of olive oil in a frying pan. They said a large one. Sometimes they don't say frying pan and they're talking skillet. All right, it's pretty much the same thing. Well, I should say it is the same thing, just different terms that you're dealing with. This is what they've done. They've changed so much of the language from one direction to another. People say, I don't understand what they want, but once you know all that language, so I'm going to put them in the frying pan. I'll turn you in a minute. Okay, put that there. We're going to move you. So, dang, I just went out of room all the time. Especially when I take everything out that I need. Do I need shallots? Small onion, garlic. Oh, this must be for the chicken. I was pulling everything out for the chicken, so I'll push everything in the back here. We're making the sauce first. is a bag of the peelings. I put them all in here. None of my vegetable stocks taste the same because I use different vegetables and greens and stuff. So every time I make them, they have a different flavor to them. That makes it interesting. Okay, we're getting stuff out of the way so you can come over here. I'm going to have to flatten you down some too. You're not going to be able to fit under the sink, the counter and stuff that I need to put you. Okay. Now we're heating this oil up. Okay, so while you're watching some of this, I'm going to get this out from underneath you. I even have to make bread today. I mean, I am just... And I want to make the croissants. I got the pastry flour put together, but God, I just can't seem to get everything going. Now they want me to use a food mill to puree some tomatoes. They want 2 20-ounce cans of tomatoes in their juice. I cannot do it that way, so I am going to use my blender and do that and blend them up. But if you have a food mill, when we get to that point, I'll tell you what you have to do. That's one thing I never got was a food mill. I used everything else. Not yet, we're getting it. You're not going to see it. Put you there. I am going to blend up this right now. Well, see, sometimes if you don't have the equipment, if you know how to maneuver, you can maneuver with other things. And good morning for everybody that I'm missing over there. But I got to blend these tomatoes because I don't have a mill. Okay, that's done. The reason I think she's using a food mill is she doesn't like the seeds and she wants to strain the seeds. That's what I personally think. I don't care about the seeds. Seeds have things that you need that fight cancer. They say all seeds do it. So, what do you need? I'll eat seeds. I have no problem with that. So good morning, everybody. I apologize if I don't get to all of you. This is a tomato sauce that's going to go with chicken fricassee made with 2 vinegars. So we're actually making that dish. Oh, my girlfriend got that for me for Christmas. So once we get this going, it'll take about 15 minutes to make this. They said you can store it in the refrigerator up to 2 days, or you can freeze it up to 3 months, this sauce. And she says it's the best, but I read that on everybody's tomato sauce. So we all have our favorites, but for this dish, this is the one she wants us to use. So this is what we're going to be using. Now, if you have a food mill, they want you to mill over the skillet and puree the tomatoes directly into the pan. And they said you need 2 28 ounces. Now, we need some salt in this. She wants sea salt. Well, I'm going to use my own salt over these onions. I'm sorry. Oh, no, I'm not sorry. I make my own salt, keeps my blood pressure down and calm, so I'm content. I could not find the size bird she wants. Mine's a little bigger, so it's going to take a little longer to cook when we put this together. Stir till blended. Okay. Yeah, we can get that in there. We're going to bring this to a boil. We're going to turn it down to simmer, and we're going to let it cook and get a little thickened, as they say. I don't know why she didn't want it in a saucepan, but she wants it in a skillet. It's okay. I guess that's because she's milling. So This will be going for 15 minutes. That chicken will be getting cleaned. Temperature, God, it's been sitting all night. I will be right back as soon as it starts. So I have to go get the trash can before people start dumping trash into it. And then I have to clean their mess up. I'm going to turn this down and I will be back. Dang, what's in the air? We could turn this down to simmer. Let it cook for 15 minutes. And don't get popped, which I just did. Lately I've been getting burnt. I don't know what's wrong with me. Okay, what is it, Taffy? No, you're not getting the chicken. There's nothing to do there now. You have to get this other stuff done. Okay. Okay, TC, if you're done. Tre? Delete it. Oh, yes. And that's Taffy. You're absolutely right, Richie. That's Taffy. Some people can't wait. That's okay. Impatience never gets you anywhere in life. They wanted a 4-pound bird. And I got a little over 6. I could not find the size bird that they wanted. So I got an extra large bird, so it's going to take a little longer to cook. Well, I know some cats that would like the gizzards. Don't volunteer, Taffy. You don't always eat it. killing the bird and then we'll take care of the bird. Now you want to know if they treat these animals properly when they're killing them. Let me show you. This is a liver. See how it's ripped out? Shouldn't be like that. There was a time you didn't see them like that. And you didn't see all the gunk that you catch in them now. They were cleaned and everything else. This is just poor quality, that's all it is. And you can see the animals suffering. They're not supposed to suffer. There's a special way of killing them so they don't. And people don't care. And that's sad. Having a hunter for a father, you learn to have respect for the animals. And I guess farmers are like that too. But the butcher, the slaughterhouses, no. I knew a man who was our neighbor. He had great reference to feed his family and all. So he was good. But I've seen, and my father has seen hunters that would leave a wounded animal. So if my father was with him, my father said, you're going to hunt it down if it takes all night. You're not going to leave a wounded animal out there. That is dangerous. And the guy said, well, we'll track him in the morning. He said, no. He said, I will shoot you if you don't sit there and start tracking. And my father had a moral about that as well. So hunters have a great understanding of it. And I think farmers do too. But the slaughterhouses, I don't think they really care. It's just rotate the meat out, you know. Get the animals killed, skinned. Just get it out to market. How do they want this chicken cooked? Jackie, I have to read how they want this cut. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. This is going to be more than what you want. About 8 pieces. They want 8 pieces now. When I cut a chicken, I get more than it. 1, 2, 3, 4. 5. We'd get 10 pieces. I'm trying to remember how they do it in Europe. They want 8 pieces. Let's go ahead and get the legs off. Let me start counting as I do this. Can't remember how they do it. Yeah, they have different ways of cutting theirs compared to us, and I should be using a pen. They only want 8 pieces, so I'm trying to figure out how. We don't have that meat book that had European and American cut butchering, so I'm having to try to remember. Okay. Now we got the chicken here, yeah. I don't think you take the wings off, if I remember correctly. I want to get this joint undone. I'm going to leave the wings on. Cut the breast. You're probably saying, just cut it. No, I'm trying to remember how they do that. They do theirs different than ours. That's what makes it so. Let's see, there's 2, that's 2, 4, 5, 6. I am not remembering, and I feel bad about this. So that'd be 2, 4. Okay. 1, 2. Sandy, you're gonna have to wake up when you go to do some of this because you can't remember. I really can't remember. I know they do it different. Believe it or not, they really do cut this different than the way we do. I just can't remember offhand. And I'm trying to remember as I do this. Is it the chicken wings and thighs that make the extra? Or do you cut the breast? Is the breast cut in quarter? If I quarter it, that's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, if I quarter the breast. Yeah. Sandra. So if we do this, and we cut it this way, I'm thinking I'm going to have to find that book again to help me. Okay, now let's see. You get the breast. 1, 2, 3. I know you keep on saying, she keeps on talking about this breast. Yeah, I am talking about the breast. But yeah, we could go through. Yeah, if I go through here. I'm gonna have to. It's gonna be a mixture. I can't remember. We'll just cut straight. See, the reason they cut it in eighths is because it's going to change the cooking time. And if we do it our way, it's going to change the cooking time. And I'm trying to remember the cooking time to match up with what I have to do. All right, well, I'm going to cut this off. It's just simple as that. This is the back where it breaks. But I know that part. See, these pieces are small. Am I going to use these pieces? Do they use these pieces or did... You're probably saying, you're going crazy, young lady. Yeah, I am. I think I'm going to cut this off. I'll put this in my stock. Let's see. Cut this off too. Don't worry, I'm not wasting anything, but I'm just thinking. Do they use the backbone? If you cut this too far, I don't think they use the backbone. I think the backbone they don't use, because they use the meaty part. Okay, so that would, yeah, 8 pieces of chicken. And I'm going to be thinking about this for the rest of the day, trying to remember. So that'd be 2, 4, 6, 8, yeah. I think that's it. I think I did it. Okay. So you do want to cut here at the joint. Okay. For those of you that have never butchered, when you pull the skin back, you see how you see the muscles going this way and this way? That's right where the joint is, in the middle there. Okay, that gives me 4 there. So they're not using the backbone. This, see, I can't remember. I have to think. Hi, everybody. I'm just trying to remember because I don't remember the... I used to have a cookbook that showed me different ways of cutting meat and fish and stuff up, right? And because I could never remember, and according to if it was in Europe or American, I could sit there and look it up because I couldn't remember all of them because I used one more than the other. But then when I go to use the other one, I can't remember how it goes. But I know in one country they don't use the backbone; they use that for stock. So I'm going to throw that into the stock, the backbone. So they cut all that away. Now, see, what I'm worried about is, I think the wings are separate, and they. I think they cut the wings off and they cut the breast in half. See, this is where I'm trying to remember. I can't remember. I think they cut that off, and the wings go also into a. Shoot. This really is Sandy's forget. It's been a long time, too. Okay, come on. Okay, if you don't want to go, that's fine. I'll cut you and get you out anyway. Dang. Look, you want to be stubborn, that's fine. I don't care. I just wanted to break you and get you off. So I think they cut these breasts in half. So everything's about the same size, if I remember. So they use the meaty part more than they use the backbones and the wings. They use that for the sauce, I think. You're probably saying, she's thinking. Yeah, I am. Trying to remember. So the wings in the back I will throw in with my bones, and I will cook that down as stock. Okay, this should, yeah, she wants 8 pieces. 2, 4, 6, 8, yeah. So this is how they do it. They don't use the wings, and they cut the backbone off. Okay, that's how they do that. Had to remember. You see, we cook the wings in the back, so we get 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 pieces of chicken, whereas they don't. They do it differently. Now, the tomato sauce is getting thick, so we're going to be turning it off in a minute. I have bones here, so I'll throw these in before I forget about them. And the cats outside can have all of this. Don't like it. For a minute I thought I was losing it, trying to remember something. Okay, this is for the cats outside. Get the cutting board off of here. We're done. I don't like leaving my meat cutting board sitting too long. I like to wash it right away because there is blood on it and stuff, so I don't want it to soak in. I'm leaving it for 30, 40, 50 minutes sitting. I need a towel to put this on. Okay, we're done with the sauce. It has reduced enough. Take your little bag of flavorings, squeeze it to get the flavor out of it, and put it to the side. You don't need that anymore. Okay, tomato sauce is done. You can put that to the side. Rinse this chicken and get it going. So now you know Europeans don't use their wings and backbones. They cut them off. I knew I'd remember, but it'd been much easier and faster if I could remember on my own. But I couldn't remember for the life of me. All right, now what do they want us to do with this chicken? We're going to pat this dry, and we're going to season it. we're going back to the board again. They want us to put white pepper all over this, and they said to be generous. See if I can get you down. We tried one of the peaches yesterday, and it was dry and had a horrible taste in it. So, I don't know where those peaches came from, but I will probably throw those peaches out. They are not good at all. So they're recommending heavy with white pepper and add some salt. When you salt high. If you don't salt high and you go low, you get you get chunks of salt. But when you go high and you go like this, it's like rain falling. You get more of a level that you're looking for it. Turn it over, and we're going to do the other side. Now you see why my towels are always dirty. White pepper is not as strong in flavor as the black. This is why we're using white pepper on this. You notice we're using a lot of it. Okay. Okay, this wrist wants to take a break, and I cannot give it a break. I'm cooking. I cannot do that. You're going to need another skillet. We're going to be adding butter and oil to it. I'm bringing you back over. How much oil and butter do you want now? We want 3 tablespoons of olive oil and 4 tablespoons, and she stresses it, unsalted butter. in the frying pan. We'll get ready to fry this chicken. As you can see, everybody does this dish a little different. So you always get a variety instead of making it the same way. My family knows that I'm mentioning something. So we're going to get a new way. They're not going to get it the same way. 4 tablespoons of butter. Let's get you over here. I gotta bring you down again. You don't fit. I tell you, I have no room in this place. I got room in all the other rooms, but the kitchen, the way they built it was like not enough space to whistle Dixie. Now, if you don't cook, that's fine. I could see you saying, oh, there's plenty of room in the kitchen. But when you do this kind of cooking, you need a lot of counter space. You need an island. Oh, my washing machine is fixed. I am happy with it. Good morning to all of you. I know I'm not catching all of your names. I do apologize. Today, let's see if I can find some names to say good morning to. Arsensa, Noodles, good morning. All right, they want this really hot. So we have to wait for that to heat up, and then we're going to take care of the chicken. So I'm going to do this a little backwards for them. Now you have to regulate this. You do not want to burn or scorch the skin. You're going to have to adjust the heat to keep an eye on it. And you want me to pour it? No, this isn't going to fit. We're going to pour this into that when I'm done. So they don't tell you the heat that they want. They sort of lead you into that. They're even stressing to use tongs. They do not want you to tear the skin. That's what she's saying. Okay. Skin side down first. Always skin down first. And she said you might have to do it in batches, which we're going to be doing. And that's going on. I have some shallots I have to peel. Chop. Want to slice them in. All right. They want you to, while this is cooking, they want you to mince 2 shallots. cooking is moving right along. Health. Listen, some of you, I missed some of your comments. You're going to need to put to the side 1/3 of a cup of champagne vinegar and 1/3 of a cup of red wine vinegar. We're going to be using it, and you're going to need some white wine strained too. You look like you have a vegetarian because you're saying it's all carrying on. If you know your Bible, he states point blank about the animals, but he also showed us how to kill them mercifully. So you can preach all you want your vegetarian ways. You go right ahead. The Bible is specific about a few things. Hi, Becky, vegan. A chicken and 2 vinaigrettes. It's actually chicken fricassee with 2 vinaigrettes. I mean with 2 vinegars, not vinaigrettes. Sandra, where are you? I'm thinking of the salad I want to make. There'll be no beer with this one. This one, I would definitely recommend. Well, I'm sorry, because it's chicken, you have to go rosé, dry. Beers are more for like barbecues, like the barbecue hamburger. That would be great with that. A steak that you grill and stuff. Most of the time when you think outdoors meals like that, you'll think of beer. Very rarely do it. I think of a meal that has beer with it. Mostly wine would be it. But this one I would like to have, I would enjoy apple cider. I would enjoy Apollinaris, which is, I love, it's better than Perrier water. Nobody knows. You think Perrier water is good? Apollinaris, I don't know if they even make it anymore. That water, you know how velvet feels soft to your skin? That water, Apollinaris, that's how it feels on your tongue. That salt is so good. But I think today I want to sit there and have this with sparkling apple cider, because I don't like liquor. As much as you see me cooking, I've got a liquor compartment in there. It mostly goes for everything else. And I made 15 scones yesterday, and we've only got 3/6 left. That's how they're going. My son's been having a field day with it. My younger one came in, and he ate like 3 or 4, but I guess he had a glass of milk with it, and to bed he went nice content. My other son came in, and I said, did you try the scones? He said, I already tried 2, Mommy, and I'm having another one before I go to bed. So they made a hit yesterday, being cranberries. So that's what I do. I take things and I try to, I'll mix them up, try different things to make. My thing is, why not? You always want scones with currants, or would you like to try them with different things? Try them with different things. This is how I look at it. You know, first I'll try it the way they give it to me, then I'll start thinking what I can and cannot do. Good morning, Randy. Vegan, look, you don't like this channel, that's fine. Go to a channel that is vegetarian for you. I have vegetarian meals. I'm ordering a vegetarian book because I want to see how the vegetables are done, because you eat a lot of vegetables, so there'd be a lot of ideas that we can play with. But don't come on to my channel and proceed to tell these people that they cannot, or we're being abusive and stuff. If you know your Bible, which I'm sure you don't, you probably have pink or purple hair too. You know, and piercings up the yin-yang and think you look good and hot. But anyway, just please, you don't need to be preaching about that. This is my channel. I can talk about what I want. I can bring information to you. I can joke. I can do all sorts of things. But you don't have a right you're visiting this channel, if you subscribe, you only have so many rights and no more. So understand that. Now, if I'm cooking like this and one day I decide to become a vegetarian, I'll tell everybody. But I doubt it seriously. You know, when God orders me to start eating as a vegetarian, I will start. I'll miss my filet mignon. I love fried chicken. I'll definitely miss my barbecue hamburgers. You see what I'm talking about? These things I'm going to miss, but when he says no, that'll be the end of it. Right now, next week, I'm going shopping. I hope he can find red snapper fillets. If he can get those in, we're going to have red snapper hamburgers. Sometime this week, we're also going to have breakfast hamburgers, breakfast sausage hamburgers, because I make my own breakfast sausage, so they're not in the cases, so I can make hamburgers with it. The only thing is we have to be careful, because it's pork, we have to cook it, so we don't want it dry, so we'll have to add some vegetables and stuff, or something to help hold that moisture in, so they're not so dry when we eat them. So, whereas the beef hamburgers, we can sit there and do medium rare, you know, but with the pork, we have to get that one cooked. Good morning, Cornhusk. How are you? No, my husband was the one who did that. No, I've never cooked on the outside grill. When I grew up, that was a man's job to cook outside in the grill, not a woman. I told you, everybody had their place when I grew up. So if I had a husband and he was grilling, I would ask him, Tony, can I watch you grill? But I don't have a husband, don't have a grill. I threw it out. Well, it's nice to see you, Cornhusk. You were here every day and all of a sudden you just disappeared, but you said there's a lot of work you have to do, so I understand that. You may have a lot of things they have to do. There was a post I saw this morning, and listen, because I'm 73, when I say young, I don't mean a teenager, but if he's 30 or 40, I'm still going to look at him as a young man, because I've got years on him. And he was talking that he wants a wife to be a stay-at-home mother, and he said to raise the children, because he works 10 to 12 hours a day, so he works long shifts. This stupid woman came on and said, well, that's pretty much being a single woman, so what does she need him for? A single mother has to go to work outside of the home and then come home, and she's not home with her children. She expects her children to do their stuff, and she's doing her stuff, and there's no control or anything. But this young man was absolutely right. I hope he finds a young lady who wants to be a stay-at-home mom to care for his children. Like he said, I don't want to make money, have my wife work, and go pay somebody to raise my children and spend all day with them. I want my wife, the woman that I love, I trust her with our children. And I understood his point, and his. Like these single moms who are raising boys. The boys and children are not listening because the authority in the house is the man. The children know it. They know when they come through, the soul comes through that the man is the head of the house. And if daddy's not there, and it's a male child, those hormones are going to kick in, and he's going to start telling his mother off. And little girls, if they don't have a father in it, and she marries, if she even marries, she's going to want her way, and she's her way or the highway or F you. That's why I think women should lose their rights to vote. One son says, I think women should take a test, at least to prove they're intelligent enough. And I told him, no, women should lose their rights to vote. But I'm not the only woman, because I have lost my rights. I have lost so many rights. I cannot believe the amount of rights that I have lost because of women's liberation, which it really isn't. Well, that's how I feel. But this is my channel, so it's my opinion. And I can state it. If I was on somebody else's channel, I don't say things. I might, if I agree with them, I'll say yes, I agree. But some of the crap that I hear, like these young women say, oh, do this. When I see these women plump up their lips, I don't want to tell you what I think. But what I think is they look like they got butt lips. B-U-T. I'm talking about the gluteus maximus, your backside. That's what I think when I see these women putting the butt. They look like they've got butt lips. Ugh. I can see natural lips, the balance to the body and stuff. But doing that, I can't. I mean, when I see a man in a skirt and a beard and all, and he thinks he's a woman, he needs to be locked up in the insane asylum. He doesn't know. There was a movie we saw that said, you don't know if you're shot, dead, buckshot, or fucked. And that's how I see that. These are sayings, and now they like become a reality. You're like, hello? You have your head screwed on, you know? You don't want the skin to tear, well, it's terror. Times are not as slipping. So, that's my opinion. I'm so glad I grew up in time. And then these false eyelashes. Woo, way out here. You really think you look good with those false eyelashes? And you wonder why older women are losing their eyelashes. You putting all that glue and stuff on your eyelashes and mascara all those years, you're killing the root. You're not going to have any eyelashes. Of course, you're going to need false eyelashes, but where do you get those false eyelashes? They're coming off animals. Was the man in the house. When he got sick and he couldn't do it anymore, I had to take over. And I've been running the house since. Am I doing a good job? Probably not, but that's okay. I do the best I can with what I have, and I make it work. If it doesn't work and somebody doesn't like it, we'll get over it. It's my life. You don't have a right to walk in on my life. I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm just not living up to your standards. But that's okay. I have to live up with mine. Mark, arson. When my sons acted up, their father was on their case. You don't have to listen to me, you have to listen to your father. So these tantrums, teenagers and stuff, they don't have their father. So if you take the rights of women away from voting, the country will get back on track. Hi, Mark. They haven't invented that yet, but I'm sure they're working on it because it's not. This just has black pepper and salt. But if women lose their rights to vote, we can get the country more back on track. But that's one thing that has to be revoked. We have to, as much as people don't like it, we have to get rid of people in this country that do not assimilate. They want to stay isolated. And we've got community, I just see it in the metropolitan area. When I go in there, we go from one neighborhood to another, they don't speak English. They want the language of voting and papers and bills and stuff sent in their language. People have to speak bilingual to answer the phone and stuff. I think we should just get rid of it. So, the best place to start is get rid of women's rights. Once you get rid of women's rights, things will not be easy. They'll be put back in their place where they belong, to be a helper instead of a, I want to say, just an evil dead, you know. That's how I see it. And will I lose my rights by talking like this? Yeah, I can see me losing my rights, but that's okay. I didn't vote till I was 28 anyway. So, it's no big deal for me. I think they should take and bring back high school for girls and a high school for boys. I don't think they should mix the sexes anymore. I think they have to be separate. These women are out of control. Philadelphia, doesn't Philadelphia have an Amish community, if I remember correctly? We're going to need chicken stock. I'm going to use bone broth. I'll get more flavor in it. No, I didn't vote till I was 38. I didn't think I was smart enough to make decisions to run the government. And I did vote for Jesse Jackson because I felt we needed a man of God. And I said, I saw the country going in the direction it couldn't go. I thought when I was young, I was already having fits about it. So, when Jesse said he was running, he had my vote. I said, this is what we need, a man of God. And Trump is just what we need. Oh, the steaks sound good. Okay. I drove to Pennsylvania. Blue Ridge Mountains. We went through the Blue Ridge Mountains. They're beautiful. It was so good I'm having a taste. It was so yummy yesterday. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Oh, Richie, you're up early. You're out in California. This is what's taking so long. I'm tired of the drugs. I'm tired of the violence. I'm tired of this stupid government. She has never gotten my vote. She's never going to get it. She wants to remove mother and wife and female. And as far as I can concern, she could have payments and stuff too. And now I'm reading Ezekiel, the Ethiopian Bible. I'm starting to understand things I didn't understand before. Questions, well, I didn't care. I didn't get answers. I feel like I just let my face guide me. Then walk around and the things they're doing and what's happening, they're dreaming. That's evil on that ranch. Listen, you say it's too hot to cook. Women say it's too hot. They're in an air-conditioned house. How in the name of God can they say it's too hot? I only have fans. I don't have air conditioning. There's no excuse with all the air conditioning these women have to sit there and tell me it's too hot to cook. The real statement is I'm too lazy to cook. And that's the truth. Just too darn lazy. I had a woman, she said, I don't cook anymore. She said, do you? I said, yeah, I cook every day. Then she said, I want to come to the channel and see if you cook. I don't have air conditioning. I'm in here, but it's still hot. I'm showing you meals that you can make with very little cooking. And make salads and your family will get their protein at all. But she wants to do her nails and talk with her girlfriends and play on the phone and go around shopping and spending money. And you have a washing machine and a dryer that does your clothes. You have air conditioning so you don't have dirt blowing into the house so you don't have to clean it every day. You think about it. You got instant this, instant that, so you go and you mix a few things together and say, there, I'll cook. Or you'll order out, or eat out. I mean, you want to talk about lazy women are so lazy today? It's unbelievable. The ones who are still really working, this is nothing to do, so I need a job. So she goes out and gets a job. And then she hires somebody. Well, I'm too tired to clean my house, so now I need to hire a maid. It makes no sense. I was too busy running behind my son, keeping up with him, caring for my husband, caring for the pets that we had in the house as well, and everything else. Girlfriend? Oh, nothing. And when I slept, I went to bed. Some days I had to take an afternoon nap. I was exhausted. When my sons went down, I went down. So a lot of you were shocked that I washed clothes by hand. I washed sweaters by hand. I washed lingerie, pantyhose, stockings have to be washed by hand. Certain things, delicate materials have to be washed by hand. You need a dry iron. You need to start some things. I mean, when you really get down to working, and you said women were slaves before. Listen, men, when they came in this country, they sat there. They had to build their house, the barn, animals, and all. Women were out there working, not just in the house and in the kitchen. They had to work out in that yard as well and help support. And then the roof went, it took both of them and the children to help control things. Women were not slaves. They were working. Just as hard as men. So when I say hard, I don't mean that they lifted up thousands of pounds, but they pulled their weight as much as they could. Now they knew women couldn't run a ranch without a man. You put poles, barbed wire, and stuff like that. I understand all of that. That's how it was. But as men moved out of the home working for business, and the stuff as businesses came up and needed more employees because of the depression and all, and the war and everything. This is what caused all of this. It was a pain with a big lot of lies. A whole lot of lies. That they weren't independent. I want to make as much money as a man. The woman left the home. She destroyed the family structure. Now look what we've got. A mess because of that. I have to say it. I can talk about my sex and not have any problem about it because I can see the wrong because I've been on it for as long enough to see it. I'm going to turn you guys. I can't see all of you talking. Hi. Well, I'm sorry. The chicken's a bit loud. Hi here. Yes. Yeah, and I'm getting hot. We're almost done. We're almost done with the frying. I'm putting the chicken on a plate right now. Yeah, well, we had a couple of earthquakes, so now it's sort of tilted at an angle. salt, and you can't fix it. So making cakes, they're all like this, and so I don't make cakes. I do the best to maneuver them around. I'm going to take it out and really take this flavor. All right, we're going to pour this fat off. Give me a minute and I'll tell you what we're doing next. I've got to read it. Okay, they put off the heat. You're going to pour 1/3 cup of champagne vinegar and 1/3 of a cup of red wine vinegar into the pan, and you're going to deglaze it off, literally off the flame. Because if you leave it on the flame, it'll evaporate and you'll just burn it. Let me just turn this flame down. Okay, we've deglazed it. Let me see what else they want me to do. Okay, how much wine? All right, you now need 1/3 cup of white wine. So 1/3 cup is about. You're going to put this under a low flame now that you've deglazed it. See how the vinegar deglazed? Oh, you can't see, sorry. See how the wine deglazed it? That's why you took it off the heat, so you can deglaze it like that. You're going to add the shallots. I told you, add 2 shallots. And 1/3 cup of white wine. I know this doesn't fit this, but I need to use this on this. We're just going to let it cook for 3 minutes. That's all we're doing. So let's see who's here now. Hi, Mark here. No, they don't want the heat up for actually doing the way they want it done. Okay. What do they want me to do next after this? To do some of this backwards. I know my chicken is not completely cooked yet. There is no way I'm going to be able to do they want. We're going to have to reverse pans. what they want me to do is simmer this. Oh yeah, pull that out. 73. Yeah. I have 2 contractors. They both want one thing from me. I tell you sometimes. Oh no, 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 you can't do this. No. 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 Shh. Didn't tell you to do that. Come on now. My yeast is growing over the jar and it's dropping in the sink. It's alive, it's growing. Put some in my discard bin in the refrigerator because I haven't fed them. I have them out so I can feed them, but this one is not waiting for me. It's just growing. So I might have to put it back in the refrigerator. I'm not going to get to it. See, when you have yogurts and cultures and everything going, you've got to stay on your toes in the kitchen. Right, you can go in the refrigerator like this. Vinegar's going to work to me. Okay, we have a few minutes with that. I got to feed my cultures. We're going to have to slow down. I got to go in another direction. I do apologize. That's going to cook for about 15 minutes. Oh, you made it? Isn't it good? I love that. I got some cucumbers that I have pickled. What is wrong with this? I gotta get my scale out. Yeah, I like the Texas candy, which is pickled jalapeno peppers, sweetened. But I did some cucumbers. They're not dill. They're cucumbers. I'm wondering if I want to use those pickled cucumbers for when I go to make the breakfast sausage hamburgers. We already have a spicy cheese to go with it, I think. But that yeast keeps on rising. I've got to feed it and just get it in the refrigerator to slow it down. I'm just not going to be able to continue, but I have a few minutes, so. I'm going to feed them, get them cared for, and get them out of my way so I can do what I have to do. That's not going to be done in 15 minutes. That's going to take longer than that. I don't care what she says. She had a smaller bird. I had a big bird. This is just not working out for me today. That was my liquid culture I fed. Now I have to feed my sponge culture, which I gave you the information already. So I know my cultures are very much alive because they take off. Okay, seems like a lot of people said some nasty things. Well, whatever. I don't know why people don't know how to be nice anymore. And somebody says, people who curse you out, they're telling you the truth. No, they're not. People lie so much now today. It's ridiculous. People think so cheap of themselves. The only thing they have to offer you is a body, not a mind, not anything. To me, that doesn't make any sense. The women say, I want a 7-figure husband income, and they're thoroughly convinced. They look good. And one was a blimp. If somebody asked me to rate my looks, you know what I would rate from, let's say, 0 all the way to 10. And 10 is the most beautiful. If I had to rate myself, looking at myself, because I've never done that, I've been content with the way I look. But would I consider myself before I became an artist model and stuff? You know what my rating was? 0. That's how I looked at myself. Because I couldn't judge myself. It would take somebody else to judge me and my looks. I cannot make that judgment on myself. And these women said they want 7-figure income. And I'm saying to myself, I don't care what his income is. If I love him and he loves me, we'll make it. You know, that's my stupidity, I guess. Because these women have definitely different ideas that you've got to make money and that they're good looking enough to get a 7-figure husband. And they're really, in my book, they're just average looking. A woman I think that would rank a 10 would be in a husband's eyes who looks at his wife. So that's how I would look at it. I would trust my husband's opinion on me. He said I was beautiful. And I said, how can you look at me, Tony? I have sacs on the sides of my abdomen. I'm all cut up. My skin is yellow. He said, you know what makes you? He says, your soul is so beautiful. It shines through all the illness and sickness that you're in. Because I was really at an all-time low. When I woke up and saw my body, what the doctors and all had done to it, I was very upset. So much grease here. So I think the only person who could judge, a woman couldn't judge her looks. I think the only person who can is the man that loves her. And the other men might sit there and say she's not beautiful. To him, she is, and that's the one that matters. His opinion matters, not yours or anything. I was content with my looks. I would never consider myself beautiful. But yet artists considered me very beautiful. Yeah, it is. But I never thought myself beautiful. If I had to use a word, if it was 0 to 10, I'd rate myself at a 0. But if you gave me a choice against being cute, average, or beautiful, I would go cute. And that would be just about as far as I would go if I had to judge myself. But I can't up here. It was my husband who saw me as a beautiful woman. All right, so it's been cooking for 15 minutes. What do you want me to do now? How much stock? 1 2/3 cup stock. All right. They want 1 2/3 cups of stock, chicken stock. 1 2/3. Just empty the bottle. This has other bones in it as well. But there was a lot of chicken in it because I can tell which one has more beef bones and which one has more chicken because of their color. Allison, I'm going to tell you exactly what I tell everybody. I had the best husband with all of his faults. All right, he had his faults, but he was perfect in every way for me. Okay, I love my husband. I still do today. I defend him. Nobody can talk bad about my husband. I know what he went through. I know what American blacks did to him. I know the government. I know how hard he fought for his family. Yeah, I'm getting ready for that. But I think every woman would say that about their husband. He's perfect with all of his faults. All right. I'm putting this into the tomato sauce because it's got to cook. Okay? And they want me to pour the tomato sauce in here. And I can't do that. This pan will not hold it, so I have to put it in my bigger frying pan. So I'm doing something a little backwards. But that's me. What can I say? Okay. Let's switch pans. I have got such a mess to clean up today. And they want you to turn this up because we're going to bring this to boil and they want us to add this. That's close. It's packed. Okay. Now, mix this. Okay. Well, we'll do the best we can. At least you know now why you don't find in Europe, if you have fried chicken, you will not find wings and stuff in their dishes. Okay, this is the biggest lid I've got, so we're going to have to make this one work to the best of my ability. Now they want us to cook this. Oh, they want it uncovered. Okay, we're going to be cooking this like this. My mistake. Now when this is reduced some and cooked a bit, I'm going to add 1 cup of heavy cream to this. Oh God, I got such a mess. See, because I had a big chicken. Remember when I told you my chicken's going to have to cook a little longer than hers because she's got a 2-pound less than I did. So I know my chicken's not going to be done. So I had to change the recipe a bit so I could get this done. Other than that, we wouldn't have a chicken done. I'll put this here. Listen, I've got everything all over the place. Burger King. Oh God, just check their hamburgers and find out what the ground meat's made up of before you proceed to eat, and don't let them talk you out of asking that question. You have a right to know how they make this food or what's in it. Are they using lab-grown meat or are they using real beef? Check it out and make sure, because it's your health and you'll pay for it late in life. If you're already up there and you're already sick, then you know they were already using it. We tried hamburgers one time outside. We did not like them. Our sons were young then too. After all I've been through, like I said, I don't trust the government, especially the local and state, and I do not trust doctors, and I do not trust pharmaceutical companies. So, because of what I've been through, that's why I am the way I am. Because when he said, but you're going to have this, I said, well, if I die, I die. That's part of life. If you're living, the body will croak sooner or later. That's a term for dying. It will die. It's going to die sooner or later. Now, I could serve this over spaghetti if I wish, but I'm thinking about this time serving it with bread and in bowl. Sandy, no. My girlfriend makes chicken enchiladas. Thank you, Allison. Now, for those of you who want to learn how to make cantaloupe butter, I'm going to be making some very shortly. Probably this afternoon isn't going to be 103 yet. I haven't gotten into those days yet. Yeah, I'm thinking about the weather making it. Oh, pickled pig's feet? Yes, I do. Okay. Yeah. I like pickled pig's feet. My husband made them for me. I'm not as good as he. Mine don't come out as well as his, but I try. And I do eat them. They're very good for your joints. If you have arthritis. Listen, I have to take care of something. I'll be back in a minute. have a cat that had an upset stomach. He was at the top of the stairs. I could hear him. So I had to go take care of him. That's the one you don't see is Amber. He didn't eat this morning, and I was a bit concerned about him not eating. So when I heard him, I went to go check on my cat. His problem is he likes to eat a lot of hair, and it clogs him up, and he needs that break. He's coming down to try to eat now. I hope he doesn't bring it up again. Now that I've never had with watercress and sweet potato. I'd like that recipe if you don't mind sharing it, Deborah. Allison, that's fine if they're not prepared right. My mother didn't make them right, and I hated them. When my husband said he was going to make pig's feet, man, I went in the bedroom and I cried. I did not want to eat it. Oh my God. My husband made them and I ate half the dish. It's just how they're prepared. It's not a mind frame. It's because you've had it one way, and if it wasn't done right, you're not going to like it. And I understand that. Now that I don't like chicken feet. I don't care how my husband fixed it. Nobody has made chicken feet to where I could enjoy them. I mean, they I just don't like the taste. Tripe when it's done right and you clean it, it doesn't have any flavor. But when you make a thick sauce and you put it in the sauce, it thins the sauce out. I don't care how much tomato paste I put in it, it just thins it out. But it's got no flavor, so I don't see why you wouldn't like it. So if it was prepared wrong, you're not going to like tripe. Okay? So understand that, Allison. Sometimes it's there are some dishes. I couldn't eat liver. My whole joke was it was so tough you could wear it as shoe leather. I mean, this is how women in the South cooked it. When I was growing up, it was burnt. I didn't like it. You couldn't get me to eat liver. Liver was, no way. And yet now I eat liver because my husband said, if you don't prepare it the right way, these are the problems that you have, Sandy. A lot of people don't know that, and women think they're doing it right. This is why women have to learn to cook properly. No, if it's prepared right. Matter of fact, we're going to have liver and onions sometime this week. Yeah, but it's got to be cooked properly. That's the whole thing. Cooking it properly, you have no problem with it. My husband introduced me to liver pate sandwiches, and I fell in love with those after he got me passed to be able to eat liver. And I have been marching forward. Now, something I didn't like was caviar. But my girlfriend wanted to introduce caviar to me, and I said, I don't think, now these are fish eggs. And I didn't think I was going to like it, but I said, I'll go ahead. And she said, now, Sandy, before you have it, you have to put this cheese with it. She actually showed me how to do it. And now I like caviar. I even made caviar deviled eggs. And so it's how it's prepared. I warn people, look, I don't like this. I haven't had it prepared in a way that I like. So now my statement is not that I dislike the food, but how is it prepared? Now, some people don't like certain dishes because they bring back the memory of the fights that went on in the house between their parents, and then they had to go sit down and eat. So they make a bad association. But this food means fights and a sad time. You see, so you have to understand this. Mine, the only dish I have never made is hash with eggs on it. You know, you buy the canned hash and you bake it, and they tell you take a spoon and sort of indent it and you bake it, and then you crack an egg in each of the indentations like a little lake, and then you serve it. And my mother served it. My father saying, the eyes of Texas are upon you. And my brother joined him. My father was laughing with tears. My mother took the whole plate of food and she dumped it over my father's head. We had hamburgers that night. You had to go to What a Burger. Well, yeah. Yeah, if it's not prepared right, that's exactly, I would give the same face. Blood pudding I don't like. And yet, Richie, a Polish friend of my husband's, before they closed the store, he made blood pudding. You couldn't get it past my lips. Boy, when he said, I want you to go home, Sandy, now. Don't do this in oil. I want you to do this in butter. You cut it this thick, and this is how you do it. And you serve it with this, and tell me what you think about it. I came back and said, can I have two of those? It was delicious. But like I said, it just depends upon how it's prepared. And if it's prepared right and you still have an inkling towards it, not liking it, you better look in your past and see if your parents had an argument or something bad happened at that time, and it leaves a mind frame up here like, I hate mussels. Up one end and down the other. Nobody can cook them. They're either raw or overcooked, so they're so tough you can wear them as shoe leather. I went to a restaurant for my birthday this year. My son took me out. I think we were a week late because he had to make reservations, and we went. And I had mussels, and that was my appetizer. They came out. I thought I was going to get a little bowl, and I would just pick one or two, and that'd be it. Oh, no, I got a giant bowl with a whole lot of broth, a lot of bread, and butter to go with it, and mussels up the yin-yang. I said, okay, I'll try one. Oh, my God. It was delicious. They got it just done. It wasn't raw. It wasn't overcooked. It was perfect. I sent my compliments to the chef. And when they came out with my second course of salmon, I said, oh my God. Salmon, you can overcook it and make it tough, or you can undercook it and you're eating raw salmon. Yes, I'm saying salmon because this woman can't stand me saying salmon, but I call it salmon. And I had to send, again, he got it just at the point of doneness. And I said, you tell the chef, do you know they came back and were singing happy birthday to me? Because I didn't drink, they gave me a sparkling apple cider to take in place of a drink. They gave me ice cream with happy birthday. They went through the whole ritual because I loved everything that they gave me. And I kept on sending compliments back to the chef. I said, you have to send compliments back to the chef. I said, this is perfect. So this is, to me, it's got to be prepared right. Listen, I can fuck up in some of these dishes. And my sons look at me. I said, look, I was trying. Don't get upset. My thing is, it might not look perfect, but if I get the flavor down, I think I've done an excellent job. So don't judge something just by the name of it. Sometimes you have to go on a limb, but if you're going to try something that you're not fond of, make sure you go to a restaurant, a good restaurant where a chef is cooking. Not like a McDonald's or something like that. You're going to have to pay for the meal. You might be out $100, $200 for the meal, but you'll have a chef there that will answer for it, and he will give it to you in a perfect condition. And then try it, and then sit there and say, do you really hate it that much? Matter of fact, because I enjoyed my mussels and my salmon so much, the people who came in and saw me enjoying it so much, they actually ordered what I had. Yeah, sometimes I do. Yeah, yeah, you have to. But I enjoy cooking. I like experimenting with recipes. I try to take recipes and make them more nutritious than what they are. This is where you see me using a lot of things, and I can it up and then I bring it back around. I'll add and mix the flours and stuff up, all of that. But don't be afraid. Listen, I have been afraid of a few things. Now, one thing I won't eat is sushi. I don't care what anybody says. After what I saw, I will never touch that food. They wanted to show us about sushi and how the food is. So this guy ordered a lobster. Now, you know animals have feelings. And what happened was is I saw him, the chef, he said he wanted lobster. So the guy cut the lobsters. The lobster is alive. He cuts his tail off. The lobster's crawling around without his tail. He rips the tail and he sautés it. He puts it on a plate and then he puts the sauce for the man to dip the tail that's cooked, pre-cooked or whatever, to dip it in the sauce. And he puts the lobster crawling around on that plate. And I said, that is horrible. I said, I will never, ever, 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 ever. No. I just told you what I saw, Chance. Well, you can love it, but I am not going to be one to eat it. I won't even go into the store. I mean, if I made that lobster dish, instead of killing the 4 or 5 lobsters that were in there, I said, I'll take the frozen. It's already dead. It's frozen. I'll use that lobster instead. It's just the mind frame. And when my father, I had a pet rooster. I played with it all the time. It was my pet. I raised it. And when they went cock-a-doodle-doo, it was time for the heads to come off. And I said, no, they're my pets. And they said, my parents said, no. So they chopped its head off, and we had fried chicken. And that was it. My mother said, how did it taste? I cried. I said, don't you kill my bird. And she said, well, you're eating your bird now. I said, the soul is gone now. I said, I see the soul while you're alive. Once your body's dead, the soul is not there, then I can eat the food. This is why I can't kill an animal, because I'm going to be taken. I can't. He looks at me, that's it. We're over with. That's it. I'll go eat a berry or something. Yeah. They didn't boil it. They cut its tail off and left it alive and cooked the tail, put the tail on a plate with some sauce, and then took the other half of the lobster that was still alive crawling around onto the plate. So the lobster got to see this man eat him. I was not happy about it. Yeah, I understand, but like I said, when it's alive, I can't. I can't take its life, and I can't eat it because it's alive. Once the soul has been removed from the body, it becomes food for me. I see it then as food, but I can't see it as food while it's alive, because I know there's a soul in there. Just like human beings, when I see human beings walking around, I see the souls, and I see them in a body, but I know that's a soul, and I see the soul. You see the difference? Once the soul's gone, the body's dead. Same thing with animals. When you look at animals, you can see the souls. Yeah, spooky. I didn't like it. Yeah, so I can't. That's me, and I won't. If it's alive, my husband said, if things come push to shove, Sandy, we're going to eat the animals. We can't do that, Tony. They're our pets. He said, well, I'll take them to make sure you can't see them, and I'll skin them all, and then you can eat them, because he knows I can't. I won't. I'll fight him. You're not taking pets. You're not going to kill them. This is just my philosophy. And I think when you give birth, and the whole woman's body is to create life. Once man plants the seed, just like you plant the seeds outside, life is going to grow. So I can't see a woman taking life unless she's fighting for her very life or her child's. Then she'll do that, or her husband's, but she just doesn't go and start a fight. Yeah. So that's when I see my cats, because I see souls. Amber, you were an Egyptian cat. You can see it. It's all over him. He was an Egyptian guard cat, so that meant he was a Siamese cat at one time. Now, little Taffy, rub my belly. He wants to play and eat. He acts like an otter. He has really characteristics of otter. So you can actually study animals you'll see how some of them have characteristics of certain animals and stuff. You could see where they were in another life. I mean, every time I looked at my little bird, Dudley, my little cockatiel, every time he went down, I saw dingling. I couldn't, I saw a lot of birds go down and eat and come up, right? But Dudley, when he did it, I saw dingling, which was my pet deer. And I lost him because he was stupid. And I lost little Dudley again. And he managed to kill himself against my will. He went and did it. And I said, what is wrong with you? So Dudley, I knew, was my pet in another life form that I played with as a little girl. And when he died, I cried. I ran through the fields and the woods crying, dingling, looking for him. Yeah, so you could see characters. So if you can see this with animals, if you watch them, and you see how some animals behave like a different animal, but yet they're supposed to be acting like this animal, you pretty much see what they are. So when you see people, you see the souls, you see how they act, you can say, oh, what's that about? Now, I know I was a Christian, and I was in the Colosseum, and I was killed by lions. And this was by sheer accident. We had a long hall at 802 East Anderson. And the furthest bedroom from the kitchen was my parents', then my brother's, the bathroom, and mine. Well, I came out of my bedroom, and my brother went, "Rrrr!" I climbed the wall. My hands were stuck in. My father had to plaster the wall. I had my hands and nails into the wall, screaming for my life. And James was laughing, and my mother came running because I was screaming at the top of my lungs. And she had to pull me off the wall. And they didn't realize what I saw. Because she said, it's only Jimmy. I said, no, Mommy, it was a lion killing me. I was running for my life. I recalled. So I know I was a Christian, and that in that life, a lion killed me. And when my cats get close to my face and I wake up and I can smell them, I trigger that it's a lion. It's so strong on me. So you can make fun of all of this, but these are real things. And children are coming back and remembering their previous lives as well. And they describe what they see. I remember what I was wearing. I described the dust. I described the Colosseum. I had never been to the Colosseum, never saw the Colosseum. And yet I was describing all of this to my mother. So this is coming along quite well. The chicken's still cooking, but I'll let you see it. See how it's coming out? It's coming out really, really nice. That's what you see me doing over there. So when you see souls, these are the kind of things that you see. And you even see the people that have hurt you. And what's funny is they'll sit there and say, trust me. You don't want to trust them because they already hurt you, and you remember. So these are things. No, some of you are just making fun and asking stupid questions. That's fine. You can ask your stupid questions, but I'm not going to answer them. Okay, those are just about done. I think about 15 minutes and it's done. And like I said, I'm going to serve this with bread. I'm not going to serve it over spaghetti, but I will put cheese on. So listen, a little bit, I'm going to let all of you go. You already know what this looks like, and I'm just going to pour it into a platter, Sandra, really, into a platter. Okay. I need 1 cup of heavy cream after I take the chicken out. So when we take the chicken out and put it into the platter, we're going to add heavy cream and stir it around. Heat it up, and that's it. You really don't want to cook the heavy cream because you don't want it to curdle. So we're almost at the end of this and we'll be done. Okay, Allison, get to bed and have a good night. I turned the chicken over. I'm going to let it cook for about 15 minutes more. Then I'm going to take it out and put it in a platter. And then I'm going to add 1 cup of heavy cream, stir it around and heat it up. And then I'm going to pour it all over the chicken. French bread would go excellent to dip into this tomato sauce. I will, Allison. And you have a good night. Yeah, it's going to be good, but I'm serving it different this time. I'm not serving it the way we normally. I usually would serve chicken fricassee over pasta, but this time I said, no, I'm going to serve it with bread. I think that would be much nicer. I hope that yeast doesn't get crazy. Yeah, it's going to give me a problem. Okay. So what the chicken is doing, absorbing all these lovely flavors of the tomato sauce. That's why we're cooking it a little longer in here. And we're not putting a lid on it so it can also thicken up at the same time. If there's any tomato sauce left over, I'll hold it and maybe use it as a side dish. I know there's a lot of doubting Thomases out there and all, but I always tell them, you don't have to believe me, wait till you die. You know, that's me. Like I found out in the Ethiopian Bible, there's a special section for the demons that were known as watchers. That was their title. They were known as watchers. And they lost that title. And there's a special place that they go to. Now the ones that have, let's see, was it Abel that killed Cain, I think? Yeah, if I remember correctly, Abel killed Cain. There's a special place for those that have been. This is where I talk about ladder, working your way up to heaven. There's a section for them. It's like their life has been shortened. It wasn't supposed to be. the souls of that caliber go there. I don't know if that's a revenge area or the ones who have been hurt. It's not a bad place. But it's not the greatest either. So a lot of people are coming back and talking about the spirit. So when God comes and you see his face in the heavens and you're standing before him, you have no excuse for anything that you've done. Oh, that is really getting to me. I had to put it down because I was getting depressed to thinking about the torture and how we fell from grace. 'Cause I used to say, why can't we understand the animals? But one time we used to talk with them. We all had one language, so we could talk to the plants, we could talk to the animals, we all talk to each other. But we can't now, and it's eye-opening what I'm reading on Enoch. There's a lot in there to read. And I'm not real swift. I'm not going to say that I comprehend everything that I'm reading, but I'm getting enough of the gist of it that's it's overwhelming. Thank you, Alice. And I thought, no, it was Cain that killed Abel, not Abel. Okay, I got it backwards. Well, I knew one brother killed the other, okay? And when it talked about where the so-called watchers who fell, they were denied totally forever, and where they're going, you know, I'm going to say the word, that is hell. There's no other word to explain it. There's no other word. It's quite explicit. And I could just imagine in my head what it was like. And while I was reading it, I was saying, oh my God. You know, what we think hell is and what it really is, it's going to be two different things. We could not imagine how bad it's going to be for the souls that don't make it to heaven. Chicken fricassee with 2 vinegars. I don't know. They said they don't understand why King James took it out. And if you read the New Bible today, it's even worse. I mean, they've even taken more out of the Bible. They are watering down so much the Word of God. I got the 1611 Bible. I paid a pretty penny for that, and I figured I'd get all the books right. I didn't. 88 books. There's what? How many books are missing? Then I got the paperback of the Ethiopian because I couldn't afford the big one. I wanted the really big one, but I didn't have the money. So I got the small print, and I read a little bit about it, and it's an eye-opener because he is the one who is literally describing heaven and hell. And I'm going to say a simple word to explain it. Holding pens for like each level. From what I can gather so far, it looks like each level. But the demons have a specific place that they're going. So it's overwhelming. So I'm not going to say that I'm a preacher, I understand all of that, no, but I am going to read it as much as I can to understand it. I'm not well versed in some things. I might get, you want the skin to stay on or won't stay on? But I have an understanding of certain things. But I'm not so versed in the Bible. I can quote section after section after section. No, I am not. I'm not going to lie and say that, oh, I am so versed in this. No, I'm not. But what I know well. And what I'm reading now is very disheartening. But you know something? I can see why he said, woman, you failed. We were the ones that fell. It's all over Enoch, what we did. I'm pouring the cream into it now. So woman is really the downfall. what's funny is the demons sat there and showed her precious stones. Women love jewelry. You sit there, you can see I've got it on my ears, right? And then he talks about, what else? Metals. Gold rings, silver necklaces. You see where I'm going? Then they talk about the colors. Women love makeup. There's 3 demons right there. These demons. They gave us those knowledge. And they, when they were watchers, they said the women had a comely beauty about them, and they wanted wives. So they decided to fall. Well, they didn't fall. They decided they were going to take them. That's where we ended up with the Nephilims. They were half human, and they were the giants. They were the ones that got us to fall so hard that we have fallen. Enoch explains that the planets stay in their orb, the sun does what it does, the plants do what they do. And he describes all of this, but the ones that do not listen. So that's why man followed woman, because she had gone to the angels to get all these lovely things and all. So they gave man weaponry, the metals to make weapons and to kill with, and everything else. We don't know all the things, but the things that we know are actually from the demons that gave it this information to us. And the watchers didn't know everything. They only know so much, and then that's it. I'm stirring in the heavy cream here, heating it up, and then I'm going to sit there and pour it over the chicken, and this dish is done. So it's answering a lot of questions. I didn't expect that to come from there. I just wanted to read the other books that were missing. I mean, they put some books in the 1611 Bible, but these they left out. So I don't know why. They don't know why King James did it. Maybe he didn't want the truth, because if you knew the truth, you could sit there and nobody could sway you. But reading this gives you the truth. And if you don't believe that, you can look at, and I'm going to say it, though you might not like it, the Democrats. They're saying men can be women and women can be men, and that it's all right for pedophiles. You just forgive them and put them back out in the world, let them hurt children. And you have these people convincing men, convincing people that the cisgens can go into our young grades and teach our little ones. And now you have Muslims trying to teach our children to worship the Quran in school. So Texas, and this is what I'm happy with Texas. Texas says the Bible's going to be preached. We're a Christian country. And the 10 Commandments are on the walls. I'm very happy with Texas. Texas is doing so many nice things right now. Oh, they have to, and they didn't allow that mosque to be built. Yay! You know, I'm sorry if it offends somebody's religion. Well, I come from a Christian country. It does, doesn't it? Here it is, chicken fricassee. I gotta turn this on. This is chicken fricassee made with 2 vinegars. It's good. Okay. You can actually taste the vinegars behind it. Because remember, champagne vinegar is a sweet vinegar. It's not a really strong one, and the wine is strong. So you put those two together, they come out really nice. Good morning, General. Meatball, it is difficult. In some parts, it's overwhelming, and you don't always get your answer. But Enoch is answering a lot of questions. I don't have a lot of questions about a lot of stuff. I believe the earth was flooded. I believe it was created in 7 days. The sixth, God took a day off. I believe Christ. He rose from the dead. I've seen him, so I know he's real. I know Judgment Day is coming, and I had to think about that for a long time. He's going to ask me, why did I do what I did? And I'm going to have to tell, I only got one answer. I did it because I wanted to, you know. I hope I can be forgiven for that. But, yeah, Enoch, this is a chicken fricassee with 2 vinegars, okay? I'm not soulless, I have a soul. The soul is me. I'm expressing myself in my body. The only thing that will die will be my body, but I will live on. You just won't be able to see me unless you're in the soul. In the spirit world, I should say. And will I come back? Yeah, I know I'm coming back. I know where I'm coming back, and I know what the earth will look like when I come back to in another life. And I will be a girl, and my mother's going to be my younger sister. Ugh! Gotta put this to the table. It's really hot. So, life is a continuous cycle. You don't have to worry that when you die, you'll be nothingness. No, you will not be nothingness. You'll have to answer for what you've done and everything else. I believe in reincarnation too. Okay, well, whatever. Each planet has, in our solar system, actually helps the soul develop as he comes through. If you're at Saturn, you have a lot of karma that you have to deal with. And they work with. It's all there. It's just that if you don't believe, you're not going to believe in anything. And when you die, you're not going to believe anything either. But there's a lot more to life than what you see in a body. And every thought, every action, and every word you will answer for. So be aware of that and believe in me. Father, you have to forgive some things I've thought. You know, so you've got to be careful of your thoughts and your actions and what you say, because there will be a reckoning for it. And when it is, you have no excuse. The only thing you can tell them is you did it because you wanted to. You can't say your mother, your father, this or that or anything else. But you will answer from everything that you've ever thought, anything you've ever done, and anything you've ever said. Okay, so listen, on that note, I am going. I've got to go find that vegetable salad that I want to serve with this, I think. I've got to find it. I can't remember it. Okay? Listen, I have a lot of recipes. You have to forgive me. So listen, take care and enjoy your day.